Hey cats, Ed Midsole Bud here, back with another episode of Running Shoe Yay or Nay. 4 big ones today, so let's get to it. Welcome to the channel guys. If it's your first time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when I launch new shoe content for you. What more can a runner want? Helps us out big time as well if you give this video a thumbs up like. Dankeschön. As I said, we've got 4 big ones today, so we'll get straight into it. Shoe 1 today is the Adidas Prime X. Now, this has become available once again on Adidas's website over here in the UK. Should I pull the trigger and test it out? As a shoeaholic, a footwear whisperer, and an outsole enthusiast, it's tough to turn this one down, really. A chance to check out a shoe with some serious innovation. Or does it have too much innovation? I mean, you got the part carbon plate in there, a huge stack of Light Strike Pro foam, along with the special energy rods. And I think you've got some further stability enhancing pieces in there as well. It's like a wedding cake, isn't it, basically? The wedding cake of shoes. Do I really need a pair of these? Do I need all that stack and cushion? Well, the answer is no, I don't. Would it be interesting to try it out and see for myself? Well, yes. But I think loads of other shoe tubers have picked these up and tested them out, and I think you pretty much know what I'm going to say already. So I'm going to save myself 220 Earth credits and say it's a nay on this one. Look at that resolve. I think it's almost become the novelty shoe of 2021, hasn't it? I know Mike Cafuzzi tested them out and also Tim Gross as well, and I think they both had pretty much the same opinion about the shoe. It's a bit like the Curios tent, isn't it? A circus, you know, wheeling out the bearded woman or something, or the cat with 10 tails or something. Is that a thing? I think I've just invented that one. It just feels a bit like this weird curiosity thing that, yeah, it's kind of fun and interesting to watch, but I think it's been done. It's a big wedge of Earth credits as well, and I could probably pick up another 2 shoes for the price of the PRIMEX. I can't help as well taking on board some of the comments from the viewers recently that have picked up the shoe. There's about 3 viewers that have contacted me and say they went out in the shoe and actually couldn't finish their run. It was just so unstable and it just didn't work for them. So yeah, it's a big gamble. I think they had instability problems and it was causing them to utilize certain muscles more. And yeah, the last thing I want to do is injure myself now with some big races coming up. So it's still a nay for the Adidas Prime X. Really quite proud of myself actually. Shoe 2. I did spot an image recently on Instagram, I think it was, of a HYPERION Tempo 2. Long-term viewers will know that I really enjoyed that Brooks shoe, the HYPERION Tempo. Light and nimble with a midsole as well that was as blue as that milk that Luke Skywalker seems to enjoy. This possible second version of the shoe looks like it could be a slightly lighter shoe once again. We've certainly got that light and airy upper feel. It does look a little reminiscent of the HYPERION Tempo original, and the upper was absolute dynamite in the first version. Here the upper design, the lacing setup, and the heel all look reminiscent of the HYPERION Tempo version 1. I mean, it's not absolutely nailed on that is what this shoe is, but it certainly looks like it. They appear to have updated the midsole a little bit that looks a little bit more like the HYPERION Elite 2 that I tested out last year. Not really sure about that shoe. It was another one of those rigid packing foam type super shoes, and yeah, certainly that mottled pattern on the midsole here towards the heel suggests that the foam will be a touch closer to the HYPERION Elite 2. Did find that one to be a bit of a value letdown. Probably one of the most expensive carbon plate shoes I actually picked up in 2020, but just not all that inspiring on foot really. Perhaps they're setting this up as a Brooks version of the ENDORPHIN Speed. Maybe some type of plate in there to add a bit of rigidity. Not a carbon one, just like a nylon one. That would be cool, wouldn't it? The midsole stack just seems a little bit higher than the V1, so maybe. You never know. Maybe it's not a HYPERION Tempo shoe at all and it's just some other model. Either way, a slightly weight limited upper on top of that DNA flash foam, I think that could be a real winner. I mean, the original was great. If it's just a weight relieved version of that, then yeah, I'm all in. So it's a yay for the HYPERION Tempo 2 if that's actually what this shoe is. Shoe 3. Okay, I'm speculating a little bit with this one, guys. I think it was a couple of months back, a couple of images emerged of a possible AlphaFly 2. I mean, it could well be a new version of the shoe that they're prototyping right now and testing out. A really pronounced heel flare on whatever this is, if it is an AlphaFly 2. It looks like we got increased length on those rear traction strips as well. Almost seems like a wider foot base as well, around the midfoot area. Almost a triangular sort of forefoot point there. Now those images may be very much prototypes and still in the development phase, but interesting nonetheless. Seems to be being used on some sort of track as well, so that's not something we've seen before with the AlphaFly. Maybe these images are just sort of prototypes of new ideas. They're seeing how they work out in a real life situation. It does beg the question though, will this shoe ever see the light of day? Will we get an AlphaFly 2? I gotta be honest, I don't think sales have been that crazy on the AlphaFly original. Did see some discounts on one the other day. It was like down by $100, which is unprecedented really. I'm not sure it's been as big a success as Nike hoped it would be. Very few people have been opting for them over the next percent in recent races, it has to be said. But runners that do like them really seem to like them. I mean, I love the AlphaFly, works great for me. But then I also really like the Tempo Next percent as well, and that's a shoe that's very much one of the most Marmite pieces of footwear on earth. I'd be certainly keen to try out an AlphaFly 2 model if it ever drops. It was like a glove around my foot, and it enabled me to propel myself to some fast paces. I just hope that this model doesn't become a bit of a curio, very much like the Prime X I talked about earlier in the video. I hope that Nike don't turn the AlphaFly into like a rival shoe to the Prime X. I think that would be ridiculous. Let's just hope they keep it to around about 40mm. Keep those AirPods in there because that's what gives the shoe its special character. I just think it's tall enough, and so am I. So it's a yay for me for the AlphaFly 2 if it ever happens. I think that's about as far as I want to go really. Again, look at that resolve. Shoe 4. Again, this one is speculating a little bit based on some pictures once again found on Instagram. Here we have a Saucony ENDORPHIN Pro Plus. A real head scratcher, this one. We all know Saucony recently have released some new versions of the ENDORPHIN series, the Pro 2 and the Speed 2, and there's a Shift 2 as well. All that seems to have changed really though is the upper of each of those models. All the talk's been about the fact that the midsoles have stayed the same. Those units have seen no changes whatsoever. And again here it just looks like a slightly tinkered with upper. Oh, I could say that again, it's a very different upper in fact, isn't it? I mean, is it really worth the change? Is weight that important? How much is it going to save? 5 grams, 10 grams? It does make me chuckle sometimes that people are really obsessed about shoe weight. I think I was one of those people at some point. I just don't seem to care anymore now. I think it was when I weighed my phone and realised just how heavy my phone was, and just leaving that at home makes a huge difference. And I'm always first to admit when I'm wrong about something. In fact, I like being wrong about things. I am quite often, my wife tells me that. Is this Pro Plus version though merely just a special edition one that they've given to an athlete? There I was thinking that Saucony would hammer down on the opposition, really take the battle to Nike and Adidas with a updated version of the Pro and the Speed this year. Hasn't really worked out like that. Maybe coming up with a competition model with a slightly more aggressive drop, perhaps a lower heel stack as well, or maybe even like a Power Run PB long distance training shoe. None of those things have materialised though. Maybe that's going to happen in 2022. Still no sign of that Freedom 4 either. That one really bewitched me. But doesn't seem to be anywhere. It was on some weird website a while back, but nothing here in the UK. And we're just creeping up to about 3/4 of the way through the year, so I don't think it's going to happen. Not really much point to an upper only improvement here. We've already got that in the Pro 2. So, got to be honest, if this does come to light, it's a nay for me. I just don't really feel it's going to make that much of a difference. Lots of speculation today, guys, but it's kind of fun. What's going to come around the corner? Nobody knows. What do you make of the 4 shoes in today's Yay or Nay? Let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys, down in the comments. Go on, you know you want to. A quick musical interlude for you. I've been digging back into the EDDBUD CD library. What I've been listening to today is the My Iron Lung EP from Radiohead. I used to love EPs, you know, slightly cheaper than an album, but 8 or 9 tracks you just can't lose with an EP. Best tracks on here are The Trickster and You Never Wash Up After Yourself. I love The Trickster, really intricate little guitar parts on there. All seem to fit together perfectly. There's always such wonderful space in Radiohead tracks for all the different parts and the different instruments. They all complement each other so well. Always some really nice production values on there too. And You Never Wash Up After Yourself is about as sad and melancholy as Radiohead get. Interestingly though, I really find hope and a lot of joy and excitement listening to those type of tracks. I can't imagine, you know, listening to Walking on Sunshine or something every single day of your life. Like when you walk to work or something, that would drive me insane. There's a great acoustic version of Creep on here as well, which is Worth listening to just on its own. You forget how many great Radiohead tracks there are that aren't album tunes, so do go and check this one out, perhaps if you can find it on a streaming service. The My Iron Lung EP by Radiohead. Thanks for watching the channel, guys. It's always appreciated. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also click the bell below for notifications when we roll those new videos out for you. It really helps us out too, a huge amount. Give this video a thumbs up like, also share the video with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you